Good evening and welcome to the Minions of the Zoo Saturday edition. I'm your host and keeper of the Harry channel. And with me tonight is DrFunctional.
Hi.
And later we will be joined by a late SkepTok. But I think he's delayed by 45 minutes to an hour. So we'll just have to tap dance in place until he gets there. So are you back at your microphone?
Kind of, no, not really.
Kind of, no, not really.
I'm like here.
That's okay. You're here for moral support, if nothing else.
Yeah.
I
was reading my book, and then I was like, "Oh, hey, it's about that time," and I haven't even eaten dinner yet. So.
Oh, what are you gonna have?
Well, when I showed up, I was I'm in the middle of cooking. Tri-tip.
Excellent, good choice.
That's been dry brining for 52 hours.
Well, let's just, I'll go through a couple, well, I mean, in terms of stuff that I didn't do this week, I ended up not buying the motorcycle camera that I threatened to buy, and I feel really bad about it, but I decided that, like a 20% discount wasn't reason enough for me just to throw caution to the wind and go spending money on something. I sort of want to research it a bit more. And it isn't so much the camera, it's like how it actually mounts. Am I going to put it on my helmet? Am I going to put it on a boom? Is it going to attach to my mirror? Before I spend a bunch of money on something I can't use properly, I want to make sure I understand what's going on. Because it's one of those things where there's almost too many choices. When I was a kid, I got into classical music. I know, big surprise. And they had this record store that had one whole row of just classical music. And I remember the first time I went to Berkeley to go to Tower Records, and they had like this entire room. I felt it actually wasn't fun because I'd go to look for a particular piece of music and they'd have 30 different versions of it. And the paralysis just sort of set in. Sometimes having too many choices is actually a problem. I can't remember how many people are technically on the ballot for our governor, but it's like 50. There's like a ton of people running for in the mayoral primary for LA. Too many choices. Far too many choices. It's definitely a problem. Let's see. Stuff that's happened in the last week or so. Let's see. So I guess in theory, we're going to see lower oil prices at some point. Oil records take its biggest 1 month drop in 6 years, bringing consumers some relief. Well, I haven't seen any relief yet, but it would be nice. And just for the record, it's still way cheaper than it was in 2022 when they just started printing money like crazy from the Biden administration. Let's see, are there any other follow-ups? I talked about the radioactive Boy Scout, the guy who tried to build his own nuclear reactor in his backyard. Talked about that idiot. Well, this guy, let me just move this here. T-False Nuclear, who I've talked about a few times before, did a 40-minute breakdown of that story a few days ago. And if you're actually interested in this story, there's some stuff in there that I had not heard before. It's pretty entertaining. A guy who actually knows about this stuff. It's actually the story of this guy who put all this, like, he busted up smoke detectors and stuff, and he went around and bought up clocks that had radium paint on them and started trying to isolate the radium from all these old antique clocks. The things he was doing were incredibly dangerous. I mean, it's really not good. He was trying to create neutrons so he could basically make nuclear fuel. No, God.
I wonder if he's like glow in the dark yet, or his hair's falling out.
Well, it was really just like if anything had gone wrong, he could have done a lot of damage to himself. You know, the thing that got him caught, as I recall, was he had a bunch of this stuff in the back of his car, and he got pulled over, and then they did the whole, hey, do you mind if we search your car thing? And then he's like, gee, I'm just a Boy Scout. And next thing you know, federal government 3 different federal agencies were getting called and going to this kid's house. Yeah, oopsie.
How old was he again?
Well, he was going for his merit badge, so I would assume he was like 17-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, and they actually had a merit badge in nuclear engineering at that point. But T-Fulse Nuclear does a really good breakdown of the whole freaking thing. It's well worth a watch. I mean, basically most of his content is good. He does a lot of reactions to different things, but he adds so much new content on top and adds so much clarity that I really like a lot of his stuff. Maybe not as much as I like Curious Droid and a few other channels, but this is probably one of my 10 favorite go-to, science education things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He does a good job. Let's see. Is this the thing with the
out of cobalt drill bits, but this yielded little effect. Starting to get worried, David dismantled his contraption as there were too many radioactive items in one place. The thorium was
wow, even he felt that
stored
one.
in a shoebox at his mum's. The radium and americium stayed in the garden shed, and the rest was piled into the boot of his car.
Okay.
At 2:40 a.m. on the 31st of August 1994, David was pulled over by Clinton Township Police under suspicion of theft from a motor vehicle. The report came from residents concerned about David hanging around in the middle of the night. The excuse of "I'm waiting for a friend" unsurprisingly wasn't believed by...
Yes, so basically, it's well worth a watch. Do you ever watch any of these like body cam video channels, or do you see any of that crap?
Not regularly, but I have seen it.
I mean, it's there. So there's this case. Let me see if I can find it. I'm doing things way out of order, so apologies. Let's see, law. So, traffic stop for illegal window tint leads to drug charges for 4 in Western North Carolina.
It's 6:42 and time for News to Go. We begin with breaking news this morning out of Greenville County, where the coroner's office says a woman has died after a mobile home fire.
Well, that's not what I want. Why did they give me the wrong video? You assholes. Okay. Anyway, a traffic stop for an illegal window tint in Spindale, North Carolina led to drug charges for 4 people, including a man who is actively wanted by the U.S. Marshal Service. Now, look at these quality individuals right here.
Oh, boy.
On the one hand, I really like the U.S. Constitution. I know you admire it from afar. And you hear a lot of these legal things about Fourth Amendment protections. You have to have a reasonable, articulable suspicion before you can search somebody's car. Police are pretty good at constructing those. If you seem too lethargic and laid back, that's suspicious. If you're too combative, that's suspicious. They can turn almost anything into suspicion to search your car. And they have ways of kind of tricking you into just letting them do it. On the other hand, it seems like a lot of good things have come from cops searching people's cars. And if you're breaking the law, maybe not driving around in your super dark tinted window gangster mobile might just be a start. I mean, if I was breaking the law like that, I would make sure that the little lights that illuminate my license plate are always working, that I never have a tail light out. There would be no duct tape, none of that clear red tape on the back of any tail lights. Just that stuff needs to be pristine so they don't have a pretext to pull you over. And I sure as hell wouldn't be just hanging around loitering at 2-something in the morning if I had a trunk full of radioactive material. Just saying. I mean, they always make these arguments that you shouldn't be forced to identify yourself. And I totally get it. The cops get your name, it shows in a police report, and it just goes into feeding this machine that wants to grind you into a fine paste. It can become a problem where if you have an atypical pattern and you just get pulled over all the time, that your name shows up in a lot of police reports, and that of and in itself becomes reason to start hassling you. So, but at the same time, if cops see somebody doing something sketchy and it's just out of place, I kind of, for my own personal safety, want them to be able to stop them and ask them to, and make a mental note of who it was that was doing whatever behind the 7-Eleven at 3 a.m.
Yeah. I mean, I like As you said, I like the U.S. Constitution from afar. I think an illegal search and seizure is no.
Yep.
But there are periods where I'm a little bit more flexible, like when in New York they were, was it Giuliani?
Yeah, stop and frisk.
Stop and frisk. I thought, yeah, dude, sometimes you just need to crack down to put the fear of getting caught into a booming criminal element. Now, if they're and have it play out in the courts, because ideally it's a little bit more fair in the courts. And funny enough, with that picture, it's like one of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. Can you tell me which one of these things?
I don't know. They've all got touch of meth as far as I can tell. But yeah, one of these things is not like the other. So is that one in the, is the one at upper right, is that supposed to be a dude with like creepy red hair? I think that's a wispy, shitty albino beard. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen plenty of albino black people have red hair.
I don't feel like the bottom right guy, like this is his first mugshot. I'm feeling like he's pretty comfortable with the process.
He's already ready to shank a bitch.
He is. He's all ready to just, find some spare wood and start whittling. I guess he can make a shiv out of almost anything. Toothbrush handle.
Oh, he's already got the shiv in his prison wallet.
He's got it in his prison wallet. His bag of holding.
The guy in the top right is looking at the guy in the top left like, dude, why did you stop?
Yeah. And the woman in the bottom left,
like, you got any meth?
The girl in the bottom left was just sort of like, she thought she was signing up for a party. But yeah, I don't think the trajectory of any of these people's lives is going to go well. But I'm not sure the police can really do their job if you take a completely pedantic view of the Fourth Amendment.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm totally not on board with holding people for extending stops past the purpose of the traffic stop so that you can have some guard dog come out. A dog that can easily be trained just to respond to a little prompt if you want the dog to react, and then you tear somebody's car inside out and, damage things. Whenever you take an American car apart and you start pulling panels off of things and you put it back together, never quite works the same. There's always like some little plastic clip somewhere that isn't the same. And there's going to be like 11 new rattles inside that car forever that will never go away because some deputy decided they needed a new coffee maker and they're going to civil asset forfeiture your car or your money or whatever. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't necessarily think that making somebody stop an ID is a huge infringement on their Fourth Amendment rights. Especially considering that we've got flock cameras tracing them all over the place and all this stuff anyway. If somebody's doing dodgy shit outside a high school near the like the chemistry lab, and there have been a lot of break-ins for stealing like 3-beam balances and stuff, I would kind of want to know who was there.
Well, yeah, I mean that's you hit on two other things there. Like one, the latter is broken windows policing, which again, just follow the clues. And I'm not giving the police an absolution and a full pass here. Like there's a lot of bad cops out there.
Oh yeah,
potentially, and like stop and frisk, okay, maybe that's getting a little dicey. But like I said, for what was happening in New York City specifically, yeah, I'd like to see those kinds of policies work out in Chicago and Seattle to stop this burgeoning. But like when all things are even, no, you shouldn't be doing that.
No.
But unfortunately, we keep letting people get away with murder, quite literally sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's stupid. And like I said, let it play out in the courts, because if you, Harry, were just like off to, I don't know what grocery stores you have down there, but like at the Tesco's, and you're like, you know what? I don't feel like driving just yet. I'm just going to chill, listen to this overture by Bach and hang out in the parking lot. That's happened to me once.
Yeah.
Little did we sort of really realize that we were sitting in front of a bank, and behind the plaza was a police station. Provincial police station, OPP. So they called the locals and they surrounded our car. But we were just like hanging out in the parking lot, just a bunch of crazy kids with no real rhyme or reason. And I don't fault them for stopping us, surrounding us, thinking, oh, because this bank, it's in a it's closer to the bad parts of town. And the bank had been knocked over a couple times before.
Mm-hmm.
So here's this car, a car full of people just sitting in front of the, so I don't fault them for that. Like, that kind of made sense. But when it went to court, I got a slap on the wrist because that's what should have happened. They're like, okay, this is wrong place, wrong time kind of thing. And, just because I had a couple dubs in my pocket, and this is before Canada legalized. So it was like, sure, I was very, forth with the cop and said, yeah, I've got some pot in my pocket. And it was funny too, because when they were searching the car and handcuffed me and put me in the back of a cruiser, because I was the only suspect with air quotes, done anything wrong. And the cops really didn't care about the pot, but because of what had happened, somebody had to go. Yeah. And one of our friends decided that that night he had a couple grams of cocaine in his pocket. So he kind of got sent up, but I was okay because it was just sort of like the judge looked at the paper, looked at me, he goes, "Why are you in my courtroom?" And I shrugged, and he said, "Okay, done. Next case." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I was all ready to be like, "Look, we were just hanging out. It was Montreal and Calgary and like the playoffs or something, and we were just watching the game, and we didn't feel like going home." So,
yeah.
Long story short, I'm okay with the cops doing, air quotes, their job and throwing it down to the courts, because generally the courts will do something like that. Yeah, my buddy kind of got fucked because he had coke, but I mean, he had coke. What else can I do but shrug and go, well, that's on you, bud. You could have denied them searching you. I could have denied them searching me. Like, I mean, it wasn't but I volunteered to be like, hey, look, I obviously reek of pot. I have a couple dubs. We were watching the game, had a couple drinks, just a Saturday night, and nothing came of it.
Yeah. I think the police letting people know that, like, we are keeping an eye on this thing by just sort of stopping and saying, hey, we are paying attention. That in itself has some value.
I mean, it specifically stop and frisk, knowing that program was active, actually deterred some people, but it also prevented a bunch of people from doing bad shit.
Well, it should be limited to high crime areas. But by the way, there are cops. You can see plenty of videos. I mean, I know most cops don't do this, but there's plenty of videos showing cops violating people's constitutional rights. And it needs to be a lot easier, honestly, to strip the qualified immunity of cops who are doing things like just taking a giant dump on the First Amendment.
Apparently, Jack just got your message.
Yeah, Quippers United. Yeah, I sent him a message and said, hey, did you want to join? Let's see. Now, would you do me a favor and greet the chat while I'm checking Discord?
But that's Skep's job.
Yeah, I know. He's not going to be here for a bit.
Blakester 3043. Hey, how's it going? Green Badger, always good to see you. Always here. Zach's Born stopped by. And that Jack, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a quiet night.
It was a nice day today, and I went for a long walk. Kind of got a little bit of sunburn on my forearms.
Oh, I
don't blame people if they're a little burnt out from today, because today was a nice day.
Today was a nice day.
Just across North America. Today, just all over the place, was just nice.
Well, I was not feeling well the last couple of weeks, and it turns out that Harry has an infection, and I did the normal take charge thing that I try to do. So it was Monday, which was a holiday. I said, this is bullshit, and I was able to get a appointment at the nearby testing center. And so I just went to the nearest Quest Medical and said, give me one of these, one of these, one of these. And I just paid them cash, didn't dick around with insurance. And that way you get them super cheap and super fast because there's like nothing there. So that way, Tuesday, when people got back to work at my doctor's office, I was on the phone talking to them and saying, oh, well, we'll have to schedule some time. No, you won't. Here, let me just press this button. And they just magically get faxed or emailed to them. You know, you can just do that. And so, because I was not in the mood to like put up with that any longer. It's like, no, I know what I need. I do need to talk to my doctor, but I'll just get I'll do all my homework at a time and get all that shit dropped off.
Stop getting sick.
Yeah, I know. Hi, Jack Gunsky.
And welcome to the Sausage Fest, Jack.
Yeah.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have any topics involving concrete for you tonight. I'm sorry.
Unfortunate.
I don't.
Yeah,
I'm a little short on civil engineering, but that's okay. You're flexible.
I brought all of these research papers with me. I like 8 different books. Come on, man.
You have reference materials. That's good.
Funny because last week we actually were talking about concrete.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
I'm concrete's dead to me.
Okay. Good.
How many ADA references can you make in like a single week?
Well, yeah, yeah. How many symposiums on the best shape for a pylon can you go to in a lifetime?
About it.
Apparently, that's like a big deal. You know, the appropriate planning and shape and color for pylons.
Just like the percent slope of a sidewalk and like the distance and it just it's just so tedious. It's the most tedious shit you've ever seen in your life.
Hey, do you want to see? Do you want to see some stupid people, Jack, or do you want to see a thing about stupid people?
I see stupid people every day, but I'll make an exception and say yes.
It's a superpower.
RV driver empties waste tank into gas station diesel supply.
Oh no!
Sorry. Can you imagine? It's like, hey, where's the Blackwater clean out site, dump site? And they just pulled the thing on the diesel tank, and they'd just gotten a fresh delivery of diesel, and they.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. Apparently, many Maverick gas stations have dump sites. This particular one didn't. So it does now.
The guy filling up his gas tank. Are you sure this isn't propane? Because it smells like propane.
Gonna get shitty mileage. Yeah, no, that was an expensive thing that somebody did. Just dropping that off. I think about dumb things I've done, and I feel better knowing that I've never done anything quite that stupid. I did try to drop a Bowflex on my face one time, but I've never dumped a 50-gallon tank of poo water into a diesel tank.
Yeah, no, that's pretty next level stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you even do at that point? Like, what the fuck do you? What do you do with the gas at that point? You have to pump it all out. Then what?
Yeah. Well, it's diesel. They're claiming you have to pump it out, and I think I was a little bit disturbed. It sounded like they were going to filter it and then sell it to people afterward.
Oh boy!
It says now. Oh no, they have to pump everything out, and then they have to clean the tank before they put fresh diesel. Yeah, I would imagine. In it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oopsie.
Oh.
Oopsie poopsie.
Oopsie poopsie.
Martha, I did it again.
Let's see. We don't need to look at that. So you get the impression that Morgan Freeman is a nice man. Because I sure do. He's turning his 124-acre ranch in Mississippi into a bee sanctuary. He's just like covering the land with like things for pollinators and stuff. I guess if you've got like stupid money and lots of space in Mississippi, why not?
Maybe he's actually a very mean man, and he just hates people with bee allergies.
Maybe he needs to be with bee allergies. Maybe he wants so many bees to show up there that we can watch them fight.
His neighbor hates bees, so he made his entire property into a bee sanctuary.
Maybe he's just got like a close relative who's allergic to bees. He just doesn't want to ever see. So it's like, sorry, you want to come over? I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the sound of all those bees. the constant buzzing that's going on.
Club.
Yeah, I like it. All right,
I can dig it.
Yeah, there's a lot of potpourri here tonight. So.
Morgan Freeman always struck me as one of the smarter actors in Hollywood.
I've seen quotes of his that make him seem like a pretty level-headed guy.
Yeah.
Like not a race grifter, not a moron. I mean, you got to be doing something right if they keep casting you as God.
Always speaking concisely and eloquently about things that might be sensitive topics.
Mm-hmm.
About race, for instance. There's that famous, why are you asking me that question? Kind of. Yeah. And but doesn't what's the word I'm looking for? Like doesn't overtly talk about politics. He'll answer your he'll respond if you ask him a stupid question by making that person look stupid. But he doesn't. Just like, I'm an actor, I'm going to act. Stop asking me about shit that's not acting or whatever. And I'm like, that's how it should be. Shut up and dribble. Shut up and pretend to be Super Mario or whatever the movie is. Just shut up and do your job.
Mm-hmm.
I think people are sick of it.
Well, I know I am. Oh, I know this is one of these things that I feel like I have to bring it up, and at the same time I dread bringing it up, but this is about that stupid Christopher Nolan Odyssey thing. So Yale-educated Lupita, how do you say her last name? Nyong'o? Okay. Admits she's never heard of the Odyssey before Helen of Troy casting. So not only are we race swapping Helen of Troy, but the actor that you're putting in there didn't even know that the Odyssey existed as a work, a cultural landmark.
Shock. I mean, if she was like, oh, I've always wanted to be in this movie at some capacity or whatever, or I heard about the project and I was instantly excited, fine, whatever. But I've never even heard of this. We didn't talk about white people at my college.
No, didn't talk about the colonizer. No, it's bad enough that they're using a 2018 feminist reinterpretation / translation of the Odyssey as the foundation for things. Yes. That in itself is already going to make me feel bad. Like, don't you feel that maybe the Cyclops was misunderstood and not just a raging homicidal maniac monster that wanted to eat everybody? This kind of bugs me. And I was trying to think, okay, well, it's clear that they're doing a whole diversity thing. So I went and found the rules that you need to get Best Picture.
Yeah, I was just about to say, this is just so Nolan could win an Oscar.
So this worked before, and now they blocked me. Oh, fantastic. Let me see if I can make this come back. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, because you can't even be considered for a Best Picture Oscar if you don't tick the right boxes.
And she's ticking the dark-skinned one, and Ellen whatever Page is ticking another box.
I'm having to prove that I am what I say I am here.
Yeah, because the Oscars, they have the new race or whatever, the new diversity quota shit, don't they?
Yeah. So I wanted to see what they actually were. Okay, so I went and looked at this. So general eligibility is you have to have a feature length, 40 minutes or more, publicly exhibited, receive first public showing outside of a movie theater, on television, yada, 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 are still eligible. Film's theatrical qualifying run must begin between January 1st and December 31st. Okay. So far, so good. But for Best Picture, there's a whole bunch of other stuff. So, okay, also in 2024, the Academy implemented a new rule. Films must complete a confidential representation and inclusion standards entry form, RAISE. God, I hate you people. That meets 2 of 4 standards in order to be eligible to be nominated. So you need on-screen representation, themes, and narratives. So one of the lead actors, significant actor, is from an underrated racial or ethnic group, LGBT, yada, yada, yada. Okay, standard B, creative leadership and project team must be one of, got to have diversity in in that team. Then you've got like, it has stuff like at least 30% of the film's crew is from one of the 4 underrepresented groups. They spell it all out. This is your affirmative action plus thing here.
Wait, why do they specify that it has to be was it classified or anonymous or something like that?
Well, you have to. Well, the survey that you send in, you don't have to make all of the information about how you meet the thing public. So,
okay.
So you can file it confidential, but you have to have diversity in your leadership in your project team, on-screen representation, themes and narratives. Industry access and opportunities must complete 1. Film has at least 2 apprentice interns from one of the 4, blah, 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 blah. And then standard D, audience development. Studio Film has at least 2 in-house senior executives on their creative and development, marketing, publicity, or distribution team from one of the 4 underrepresented groups. Meaning, hire the people that we like and that we want to promote. And you have to tick at least 2 of those boxes or you can't be Best Picture. So The Odyssey's got race-swapped Helen of Troy, 1 transgender person. I guess technically, which Greek goddess is it? The Athena is being played by that chick that everybody is tired of because she's so overexposed. Zendaya.
Oh,
so they've ticked all kinds of boxes. They're good to go for Best Picture. Other than the fact that it sounds like it's going to be a complete nightmare.
Other than the movie itself.
Other than the movie
awful,
sucking,
yeah.
it's going to be great.
But it's Christopher Nolan. I don't like his movies.
Yeah, well,
I like a couple of his movies, but I will not be seeing this one. And it's not even like a protest or anything. I'm just totally and utterly disinterested. I mean, you tell me that you're participating in politics with your movie. I don't care what side you're on. I'm just not going to watch it. I don't care.
Well, there are definitely times where sort of doing colorblind casting on roles doesn't really matter that much. I remember seeing was it that show that Louis C.K. put out on FX, the first season, and his ex-wife was a woman of color.
F is for Family?
And none of the kids were. No, it was called like Louis, I think.
Yeah,
and so,
yeah.
And so he had like a black ex-wife in it, even though the kids were these little blonde things. And I thought about it at the time, and I thought, yeah, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. She's a good actress. It doesn't screw things up. It's not historically important. I don't care. And generally, I don't care. But something that's really an important piece of history, I kind of care. It kind of pisses me off. It kind of annoys me. Not like in
Harry,
the banner holding thing. Yeah.
The Greeks were sub-Saharan Africans.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The most beautiful woman whose face launched 1,000 ships was that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
go ahead, Jack.
And because it doesn't get brought up very often, Louis was a pretty good show. Can I just say Louis was a good show. I liked that show.
Well, other than him manipulating his gentleman's area, or what was it that he did that got him in trouble?
He asked a couple women if he could
if they minded if he did that.
Do the singular business in front of them. And they agreed, and then he did it, and then they decided afterwards that he was gross and canceled.
I can see where a woman might regret agreeing to that.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. They agreed to it, so I'm sorry, but I still
regret isn't illegal.
Wrong.
Yeah, but he didn't hurt anybody. He didn't force himself on anybody, et cetera, et cetera. And as far as being a comedian goes, he's a pretty damn smart guy.
Yeah, he's really funny, and I liked his show, and also his show had one of the greatest cameos by David Lynch I've ever seen. if you ever get the chance, just watch the cameo with David
Oh,
Lynch.
really?
Yeah,
It
I need to go back and
fan-
finish that.
It is fantastic. It's fantastic. That's all I can say.
I'm trying to remember. Are you guys Pluto huggers? Are you does Pluto should be a planet people? I can't remember if either of you are.
I mean, it is a planet. What do you mean should?
It's not a planet.
I don't care.
So NASA Chief Jared Isaacman says he's fighting for Pluto. I'm very much in the camp of make Pluto a planet again. I feel like this is just fan service of a form. Like he'd really like to do such a swell job as NASA administrator that even when Trump isn't in office, he gets to keep doing what he's doing regardless of who becomes president. He's trying super, super hard. Like, hey, why don't you like me? I'll even try to make Pluto a planet again. I'm just being cynical, but this does feel like fan service to me.
I mean, I have lots of reasons to be cynical about these people. I mean, these are the same people that tried to rename Uranus to Uranus, which I thought was the stupidest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of science in quotation marks that happens at the like broader level seems to just to be some sort of really strangely petty political game. Not even like a political game that anyone's interested in.
Well, these people have nothing else to talk about at parties, right? You know, if you're like deep in the weeds of astrophysics or planetary science and you go talk to people who aren't in that, you know, what does that conversation even sound like? You know,
I mean, come on. Neil deGrasse Tyson,
yeah,
who is an astrophysicist, is only known for saying that that Santa isn't real on Twitter.
Is that what he's known for?
As far as I know, because he tweets it like every fucking year.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
He just he is known for being a total buzzkill on Twitter. He's like, well, actually, this thing that people like isn't real.
I think it's important. I think bullying is important, and specifically lying to children so that then they can be happy and then grow up and realize that, you know, in the least dangerous way possible, that people lie and they shouldn't they should develop trust issues. We're doing them a favor. Telling them that the Easter Bunny is real and that Santa's real and all that stuff. We're doing them a favor by building them up and then knocking them down.
I think that children are on to this Easter Bunny shtick.
Make them tough.
The Santa Claus business is believable enough, but the Easter Bunny, I mean, come on, talking bunny.
I faked the Santa thing for a long time as a kid until I got this one present and I thanked my dad and he gave me this look. And I'm like, God damn it, gravy train's over. No extra presents for Harry. It was a chemistry set, by the way, because, you know, Santa knows what Harry wanted that year.
And just so you know, I talk about astrophysics to people all the time, and they don't seem bored. Although sometimes they do get the glaze over look in their eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, I know I'm kind of going off a little in the weeds right now, but trust me, I'm gonna bring it full circle, and then because like I'm trying to convey very complex ideas to basically idiots, but I'm good at that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like,
functional. Tell me, do the people who look like they're paying attention? Are their eyes popping out as though they're like ping pong balls?
No, they kind of glaze over in the like I'm probably getting a little too technical. And basically just trying to convey to them like, hey, look, there's some really truly just beautiful, breathtaking phenomena that JWST has proven in the last couple of years, and it's also terrifying at the same time. Like there's a black hole on the other side of the universe that is traveling at near 4 million miles an hour. I mean, it's terrifying, but it's also breathtakingly beautiful.
Yeah, Monty Python wrote a song about it.
I'm starting to understand how your party guests feel functional.
Oh, these are just random people I meet on the street.
just randomly stop people and say, let me give you some science. Just
no, I'm just a very extroverted person, so I strike up conversations, and then somehow it always gets to talking about hobbies and things like you're interested in, and then it's like, yeah, you know, I dabble in astrophysics, and they get all excited. They're like, oh my god, this guy knows about science and physics and cosmology and shit. And then I start talking about it, and they're kind of like, oh,
well, yeah, that's because people think that science is like the I freaking love science bit, and it's not. Real science is boring. Real science is tedious. It's repetitive. It's full of numbers that nobody understands. It's boring. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is.
And telling them that one day we could be here and the next we just wouldn't be there if something like that aforementioned black hole was anywhere near us. We wouldn't see it coming. We would just be there, and then suddenly, boop, we're done. Our solar system's now gone. That's a little doomery, but I mean,
yeah,
I'm trying to assuage their fears. Like, oh no, don't be scared of like the universe. It'll either happen or it won't.
I'm just thinking of like the scene in, what was it, Annie Hall, where Woody Allen is as a child is like, the universe is going to end.
Yes.
So what's the point?
If you want to go full Woody Allen, I mean, just really get inside Woody Allen's psyche, I recommend Stardust Memories. That's almost like a weird autobiography that he put together in the form of a movie.
I'm not sure I want to go completely into Woody Allen's psyche.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Let's see. Well, before we get into some more legal stuff, I mean, I guess this is technically under law. So Patagonia, go away. Here, let me make sure this is not going to try to dox me. All right. Okay, outdoor clothing company is suing U.S. environmentalist drag performer for $1 plus legal fees, claiming we wish we didn't have to do this. So this is Patagonia,
I'll be right back.
Who's trying to raise our awareness about something, and has decided that, hey, wouldn't it be fun if I raise money by selling themed clothing under the Patagonia name? And I don't think Patagonia, the outdoor clothing company, wants to have anything to do with this as a lawsuit sort of thing, because they I'm pretty sure that most of the people who shop at their stores are going to look pretty favorably on this other person, but you can't have a trademark if you don't defend it. And this is such an obvious, to venture into clothing under a name like that, they have to do something about this. They can't just let it
it's still on screen.
Yeah.
Patagonia. You gotta warn me about this stuff before you just present this kind of stuff, because grew up a little in my mouth.
I won't lie, this kind of looks like an AI photo.
Well, most things.
Am I the only one who thinks it doesn't look real?
Yeah, it's starting to really mess with me too. So Patagonia has launched a trademark lawsuit against an environmentalist drag queen named Patagonia, who has accused the outdoor clothing company of trying to erase an activist. Win Wiley performs as Patagonia, has accumulated millions of followers online for their environmental activism, raising almost $4 million for nonprofits so far. Okay, cool. Last year, they raised $1 million while hiking 100 miles in full drag from Point Reyes National Seashore to San Francisco. Great.
Harry, important point. What nonprofits?
The nonprofit for the buying moon pies for Patagonia? I don't know. Some nonprofits.
Well, no, because I mean, like, they say, oh, well, nonprofits. Well, which nonprofits? Well, it's the circumcise the cut the wangs off of children nonprofit.
Yeah.
It's always one of the. It's not like St. Jude's. It's gonna be one of those weird ones.
Okay, Jack. Here we go. I have this in the thing. Let's just pull this in now. You know that Cars for Kids thing with that annoying ad? Have you heard that thing?
Oh God, don't play it, please. I beg of you.
What?
No longer air their jingle in California due to false advertising after a judge determined it would funnel that money to a Jewish nonprofit. Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes has those details.
If you have ears and a radio or TV, At some point in your life, the Cars for Kids jingle most likely triggered a sig-alert.
God, I hate that ad so much. I had alternative lyrics for it that I would just sort of sing over the top of it to block it out. They weren't very nice. So basically, the gist of it is a judge in California said having a bunch of kids pretending to do their little jam session, singing their 1877 Cars for Kids, whatever it is, and then taking the money and sending it to places that are in other states or other countries helping older kids. That's kind of deceptive. Kind of a little deceptive. So according to the judge, the organization's ads misled donors by implying that funds supported needy children broadly, when the vast majority of the money raised by Cars for Kids was instead directed to another nonprofit that funneled money to Orthodox Jewish programs in New York, New Jersey, and the Middle East.
Oh God. A certain section of Twitter is going to have a field day with this.
Yeah. When you're running ads with young kids and the funds are going to older kids in another state, maybe even another country, that's a problem. Yeah. I hate these commercials. So for me, watching them get in trouble just makes me happy. I almost don't care why. I just don't want to ever hear this ad ever again. And I'm going to get my wish probably.
Luckily, we don't have to see John Oliver well, not that most of us did, but.
Oh, has he been canceled yet?
I think he's got an ad on, I think he's still got a show on HBO, doesn't he? Or Max or whatever it's called now. He got
canceled last week or whatever.
I don't know.
That was Stephen Colbert.
Oh, whatever. They're all the same fucking worthless shitbags.
Yeah. Talentless
Him and Kimmel,
hacks.
Colbert, whatever. They're the same person.
Stephen Colbert irritated me in particular because he was funny. He was very funny. And then he decided to just stop being funny just so that he could fill his show with propaganda. And that's like a betrayal to me. That's just a total betrayal. If you have the ability to make people laugh, that is such a gift. It's incredible. To give it up is a crime as far as I'm concerned.
Well, here's something that makes me very happy, and it's part of the Big Beautiful Bill. And starting June 1st, Big Beautiful Bill imposes new work requirements for CalFresh recipients. It's actually in all the states. Essentially, if you're not unable to work, if you're not disabled permanently or something like that, you have to work at least 20 hours a week, even if it's just doing volunteer work for somebody, or you get your SNAP benefits cut.
Okay.
Good.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm all in favor of this.
Well, here's the question though. What's going to qualify as work?
I think it's like having an actual job or doing volunteer work.
When I hear something like this, the first thing that comes to my mind is, okay, well, how is a dishonest person going to subvert this system?
Anything we can do to tighten the screws on these people, the dishonest ones, I'm in favor of. But it says, okay, so basically,
yes, it's a step in the right direction.
The new rules mandated as part of the Big Beautiful Bill signed into law by President Trump on July 4th, 2025, reinstate the time limit policy. The rules apply to adults between ages 18 and 64 who are able to work and do not live with a child under the age of 14. I think it's absolutely fantastic because during that whole thing when the SNAP benefits were put on hold and we saw some just really terrible users and abusers of the system go online and start complaining about what they thought they were owed by society. Man, I want to see that. Man, you can just lick envelopes or run a phone bank or I don't know, whatever it is you got to do. But just sitting around, waiting for your stimmies and your SNAP bucks and eating better than a lot of other people do is just pissing me off.
Maybe we'll never see the certain people go to jail, but if we can just at least stop the abuses that are happening as much as humanly possible, that would be very, very good.
Yeah. I like it. This makes me happy as hell.
I think it's definitely a step in the right direction and trying to course correct things as a whole, but I will not be happy until I see some of these people start paying for their fucking. And who am I? I don't even live in the US, so like that doesn't matter. But because I have the same standard for my own government, which unfortunately I know will never happen. We'll never see Justin Trudeau in a courtroom behind bars, anything of any worth to make him pay for his actual crimes committed in our country. So all this fraud shit, at least we are seeing some of the lower level fraudsters starting to go through the system. I doubt we'll see people like Hochul or Newsom or Waltz or whatever, any of these people seeing a day in court.
No.
It's the backroom deals of these high level politicians.
Well, I've got a thing to, I mean, not that you need to hate Newsom any more than you already do, but I can make you hate him just a little bit more. Okay, so Trump basically seized, he basically sued the IRS because they released some of his tax stuff that they weren't supposed to. They, you got like one job, you're not supposed to just take people's tax information and just hand it out to the press. They leaked it. They leaked his tax return stuff. So he sued them and won and ended up creating this anti-weaponization fund where it is, so it says President Donald Trump and Justice Department have reached a settlement of a $10 billion lawsuit he filed against the IRS over the leaking of his tax returns, ending a case that both perplexed and outraged critics as the president sought to sue the government he runs. Under the deal announced Monday, the Justice Department is setting up a $1.776 billion anti-weaponization fund to pay claims to people acting Attorney General Todd Blanche called victims of lawfare and weaponization. So all of this stuff where Biden and his cronies at the state level would use the law to sort of abuse people, he took that money that he got and said, hey, let's try to make these people whole again. Let's see if we can fix some of the injustices that the government's done to these people.
Yeah.
So you would think, okay, that's a thing. Maybe it really wouldn't generate a whole lot of traffic. Newsom vows 100% tax on DOJ anti-weaponization fund payouts.
Yeah, so get fucked, buddy.
So if you're in California and you get a payout from this fund that they set up, he's claiming that the state of California is going to tax 100% of it. Just seize it.
The easiest lawsuit I've ever heard of in my life.
Isn't it though?
There's no way that's going to fly in like even a biased court, even a court in California is going to have trouble recognizing that shit.
Well, Politico's saying that similar efforts are going on in New York and New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so were you screwed by the government? Did the government come down on you and try to mess with your stuff for political reasons? Well, there's a fund that might make you whole, but if they do give you any money, we're just going to take all of it from you. I'm not even sure if you can. I mean, I don't think you can do like 100% tax thing like this, targeted like this. That is not going to work.
Yeah. Even at that, I mean, the way that he has phrased it in such a overtly political manner, it's gonna, the optics on it are just gonna look terrible.
Well, the optics to his supporters probably look great because Orange Man bad, and anything you do to hurt the Orange Man is automatically good.
I just see no world in which this would fly at all. The second they gave it a try, I mean, yeah. You could probably what he could probably do is hold the money basically in judicial ether forever while they adjudicate this sort of crap for years and years and keep the money out of those people's hands.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll get that far. I think this is all just virtue signal because I don't see, I forget who was talking about this, but I agreed with them in I don't see how they could make this a thing because there are special, yes, some places can have taxes on very weird things like when you win court settlement, there could be taxes on top of that or whatever, but that's usually under the purview of like a goods or services tax to outwardly do something like this would be highly illegal and would basically cause him to be the next target for people whom they stole the money from to then sue. And go ahead.
Oh, sorry. You know what would be a very interesting legal question that could arise from something like this? This is effectively confiscating the money. They
Yes.
can't say that it's confiscating the money, but that is what it is in effect, which is to say that taxes can, to an extent, equate to confiscation. So, what tax rate equals confiscation? Because you can't just say, "Oh, well, it's 99% tax rate," because that's basically too, which means that a court could theoretically decide what is the maximum acceptable tax rate that you can tax something at. I'm just throwing that out.
No, you're thinking correctly. Now, I can tell you that if you've been wronged in some way, for instance, and suppose something happened, right? And it was a bad arrest from the police. And as we were talking about before, they shit all over your constitutional rights because they thought you were MAGA or something, right? And then you spent $120,000 on legal fees, and then this fund gives you a check for $120,000. If you are being reimbursed for some sort of problem, this money that you had to spend to basically defend yourself, trying to say that that's income is a bit of a reach. Normally, sort of restitution type things aren't considered taxable income. Now, when you see these people get all this money from these lawsuits and stuff, as far as I know, that's usually not taxable. But in this case, they're saying not only is it not income, but we can tax it at a rate well in excess of income. Is it a gift? Is it income? Oh no, forget those rates. We're just going to take 100% of it. And I think that legally this is not going to fly at all. But the people who hate Trump will think, oh, this is a great thing.
Yeah, and it makes him look like the guy who's still standing up against the big orange man on his his next presidential bid.
Yeah.
So,
well, looking at the state governor's race, because the primary is on Tuesday. So the former Health and Human Services guy under Biden, Xavier Becerra, remember COVID? Remember that whole thing? Well, Xavier Becerra and Steve Hilton are basically the two at the top of the pack right now. So 23% for Xavier, 20% for Steve Hilton. I don't think Steve Hilton's going to win. I think almost every single time this happens, there's a 60-40 split between Democrats and Republicans in California. So whenever you see these things run for state office, almost always it ends up being 60% for the Democrat, 40% for the Republican. And Xavier's got that Latinx thing going on. So, and he's really milquetoast. Yeah, she's so unlikable that
I'm
even
surprised
Democrats
she has
won't
12%. I think they're being generous here.
Oh, that's just women voting for her because she's got 2 X chromosomes.
Oh yeah,
she's incredibly unlikable.
And like the man said, women aren't people; they're women. Sorry, I just watched Graves' World the other day. It's probably my favorite episode in all of Star Trek history because of that line. Because he's just such a straight-faced, women aren't people. And Pulaski, or not Pulaski, Dr. Solar, would kind of like perks. She's Vulcan, so she's not supposed to have an emotional response, but you could see the eyebrow and the ears raise half an inch, and you're like, they're women. And I'm like, okay, this is great.
Okay. Star Trek question for you guys. Each of you, starting with Jack. So you're like really sick. Okay. You don't feel good. You're really sick, but you have your choice of seeing any doctor on any Star Trek series, flagship thing, right? So you can go see Dr. Phlox or, you can see Bones, you can see whichever one. Which doctor would you want to take care of you as a patient?
I don't watch the series enough to really know.
That's okay.
Is there a hot one?
Well, it depends. Are you asking them if they think they're hot? Because I guess you could say Gates McFadden is kind of hot, or sort of. I mean, maybe
He was back in the day.
Yeah. I don't know if they ever had
WEDS.
a really hot doctor. I don't think so.
Oh.
I mean, I know that Strange New Worlds is Haram. No, what's the bad one? Yeah, Haram, right?
Halal.
Haram's the bad one. Halal's the good
Halal's
one.
No,
Halal's the
was
good
bad
one.
Is also.
No, Halal's the one that's approved.
Haram is bad.
Haram is bad.
Halal is good.
The woman they have
Texan appears.
playing Nurse Chapel on Strange New Worlds is pretty easy on the eyes. But
Yeah,
that's not that doesn't mean she's gonna help you, heal you up.
Not that way.
All she has to do is look pretty, and I'll feel better.
I'm thinking it's Bashir, honestly. I mean, of all the doctors in all of the Star Trek things, Bashir's the one who's he's really damn smart. He's clever. He finds solutions to hard problems. I don't know. I'm thinking Bashir would be the one I would pick as my doctor.
Frontier medicine.
Yeah.
No, I as soon as you started asking the question, it was like Bashir, hands down.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
because he's the most capable, he's the most advanced. Like he's genetically engineered to be the best. So, if I want somebody who's going to cure the plague that I contracted, then yeah, it's going to be Bashir. If I just want somebody who, I've got the sniffles and I can't get out of bed today, then yeah, Gates can just stand there while I watch TV and look pretty, like, or Nurse Chapel or whatever. Like, it's just, yeah.
I'm not sure McCoy's bedside manner would be all that fun to be on the receiving end of.
If I got a broken bone, then I would want bones. No intent there.
Yeah.
Because he would just get it done, and it's simple, and he wouldn't care. He's the type of guy who'd be like, okay, I'm going to set the bone on 3. So already 1, and then just set it. Like that's the kind of thing I want bones for. But if I'm sick, then probably Bashir.
Yeah.
Because then he and I would talk about ass.
Yeah. Although having Dr. Phlox as your doctor would be pretty entertaining. But I just don't know.
A really good one.
I don't know how many weird organisms he would be dragging out to try to solve whatever problem I've got.
Like put a leech up your backside and here, this will make you feel better.
It'll make you feel
something. Can I have another doctor? No, thank you.
Yeah, I pick a different one. Okay, Skep, who's your favorite doctor, your favorite Star Trek doctor? You're sick, you need a doctor. Who's it going to be?
I would go with the EMH Mark 1.
Oh, okay.
The doctor.
All right.
He is the most capable and most effective doctor with the most immediate command of the largest array of information, even larger than Bashir.
Okay.
Although Bashir's genetic predisposition does make him attractive as he'd probably be my second choice.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we cleared that up. That's spontaneous.
You wouldn't be afraid that the EMH might no touch you?
That would be the least of my worries.
Yeah.
The stuff that I would be worried about was when he said, I thought you said craniotomy.
Yeah.
That kind of error.
So do you see our fine governor's race, the primaries coming up on Tuesday? And so we've got the Latinx guy out front and then Steve Hilton. So if you add the 2 Republicans together, you get 33%. And I don't imagine a universe in which people who want to vote for Tom Steyer or Katie Porter are going to switch their vote to anybody other than Xavier Becerra. So
yeah,
it's and Becerra is so amorphous and nondescript, and there's just not enough bad surface to him to hang on to come up with a bad opinion. Once he's in office and does terrible things, then we'll have reasons to hate him. But I think right now it's like, okay, who's this guy?
You gotta let him commit the crimes first.
Yeah. We can't send the pre-crimes unit after him.
Right.
Yeah. So
not that movie.
Yeah, that movie. So the LA.
I like how we're just assuming that he will necessarily commit the bad crime.
No, he's just going to be. Yeah, I just fear that he's going to be incompetent.
Yeah,
he was part of the Biden administration, for God's sakes.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
California. Everyone's incompetent.
I mean, he's probably more capable than Buttigieg. Mayor Pete.
I don't think so, Tim.
Okay, so LA mayoral poll shows Bass vulnerable in close race with Rahman and Pratt. Now, I've seen numbers all over the freaking place about what they're saying is going to happen. Okay, so some of them have Pratt coming in at 20, some of them have him at 24. It's all over the place. But it's basically down to Nithya Rahman, Spencer Pratt, and this woman, Bass, who's clearly terrible. I think she's trying to sort of run on a stay the course kind of thing, which after the LA fires, I can't imagine why anybody would vote for this woman. I mean, does she have any redeeming characteristics at all?
She is a minority.
Oh,
she
yeah.
appeals to the East LA crowd in a way that none of the OC bunch can. None of the Republican-ish Democrats, none of the middle of the road people will appeal to the Compton people, and those votes are rounded up in buses and taken down to the polling station, told who to vote for, and I'm sure compensated in some way.
Well, it's quite the exciting race. We've got LA mayoral hopeful Nithya Rahman, who's an actual socialist. Okay, so she's basically like AOC and the mayor of Seattle.
How do you spell her last name?
Raman. Nithya.
So she isn't even regular ramen.
No, she's definitely not top ramen.
She's socialist knockoff ramen.
Yeah.
So her big plan here to stop the next set of fires is
ramen.
She wants to ban backyard barbecues for residents during certain high fire dangers. So you can't use your propane grill because the wind is blowing. Honestly, I mean, not having like a fire pit going, I can totally understand that. But do you know how pissed off all these Mexicans are going to be when they can't take their skirt steak carne asada out and start barbecuing?
Oh no, they'll be allowed
simply break the law. They will just laugh at that.
Yeah.
They don't care what the law is. They're going to do what they're going to do.
Well,
they'll be allowed to get away with it.
Well, Nithya Rahman's the same bright bulb that's decided that there's a cheap way to basically keep people from stealing the copper wire out of lampposts. But she's against that. She instead wants to essentially take all of the street lights off the grid and make them all solar powered. Because nobody's going to shimmy up to the top of that $250,000 thing and start stripping parts out of it.
No, there's nothing valuable up there.
There's nothing valuable up there.
Nothing valuable up there.
Yeah, so Karen Bass actually went to Cuba and helped out there, like put her shoulder to the wheel. So she's one of those people. Nithya Rahman is a democratic socialist, meaning basically a communist. And Spencer Pratt has the advantage of not being either of those two people.
Well, the group that she went to Cuba with, Bass went to Cuba with, was a militant, spread communism via revolution kind of a group. And she's admitted, I was part of a cell. I still am part of a cell.
Maybe
she's
we can put her in
the.
Maybe we can put her in the same cell as Hassan.
Hassan Piker, yeah.
I cannot wait for that perp walk. Oh my god.
Oh, it's gonna be beautiful.
I don't understand how we got to the place where we allow foreigners to run for government office. Nithya Rahman is Indian. My city's mayor is Chinese, like from China. Member of the CCP. I understand there's rules like, you have to be a citizen to run for president, but that's not good enough. Like these people who are, even if you immigrate here, even if I have no problem with you as a person politically, whatever, I don't think that you should be allowed in any public service whatsoever. You're not allowed to work for parks. You can't be a police officer. You can't run for government office. I don't think you should have. You should have, if you make the case that you now want to become a naturalized citizen of US or Canada or what have you, you have to just put in the work. You have to put in the work that our ancestors had to put in the work to provide the future that now I take advantage of. I don't think that you should be able to come from China, India, well, technically Canada is still UK, but like Germany, it doesn't matter. You can't just come here and then just be a leech off the system. There's different levels of leeching off the system, but one is government, air quotes, employment, because look at what happened during Biden's term. The only job growth was in the government sector. Everything else shrunk. And that's not good.
Well, if everybody worked for the government, then we could make sure that the right people run everything and that everybody gets paid fairly. And
I think we should also, you wanted a rant, Harry. I also think that we should, because there are laws on the books, anti-communist laws. I've looked them up for both the United States and Canada. I know that there can be additional laws given state to state, but there are anti-communist laws on the federal level of both countries. I think we need to start enforcing these. I think we need to start knocking some doors down and be like, you're a communist, get the fuck out.
Yeah, McCarthy did nothing wrong.
No. You're now a proud member of the Red Guard. Get the fuck out. Because you're being, it's suicidal empathy, right? It's you're allowing your good faith of the society, the legal system, everything that you and your ancestors have been building and take advantage of. You're now leaving that for people who are otherwise your enemy. These people want to see the United States, Canada, Britain, any Western country destroyed. Same thing about Islam. Like, I'm not going to go on that, but my grand point is, if there's somebody who's antithetical to your country, get them the fuck out. I don't care.
Yeah, suicidal empathy and suicidal empathy is a bad thing.
I disagree, Silver Ravenwing. I would allow them to be CEOs of companies. You know why? Because those are the actual job creators that are actually adding to the country. Ideally, sure, there could be some that they do really nefarious things, but I mean, case by case basis. I'm speaking broadly, generally. I think you could be a CEO of a corporation if if it's private sector and you're contributing to the sure, yeah.
All right.
It shows that you've got some chutzpah, some gumption, and you're trying to avail yourself of the. Now, I don't think that can translate into politic or public service of any kind. I think that should all. That person who immigrated there should be doing all that they can to prove themselves so that their kids, their offspring, can then start to go down the path of public services. Like I'm even of the mind that you should have to have public. I'm an anti-suffrage person. I think that you need to have some skin in the game. And one of the good ways to do that is public service of some unpaid public service of some kind to prove that, yes, I want to take the duty and the responsibility, because it's not a fucking right. It is a duty and a responsibility to vote. And I think that people just take advantage of the uninformed masses. And I know the entire Western world left wing will never get into office again, but I'd be very strict.
Yeah, 1 vote per acre. I want to show you some.
But like, I mean,
I was just kidding.
If a woman has a family, if she's married and has a family, she gets a vote. If she or he decides, hey, I'm going to pick up trash in parks for a year, you get a vote. I'm going to serve in the military, you get a vote. Like these things, like, oh, you graduated high school, you don't get to vote.
Yeah,
sorry,
you're going to go the Heinlein. Go the Heinlein approach. Yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah, very Heinlein.
So I want to show you something cool. Okay, I occasionally bring up these pictures of like old refrigerators and old things. This is a feature on a 1973 car, and I have to say I was kind of blown away. I never saw this at the time, but I totally want it now.
Tailgate.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have the handle and
the screen
like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then the glass on all the models is electric. So just put that down. But
What?
yeah. Optionally, most of them
That's
had
cool.
the power tailgate. So you could open the window, or if you turn the key a different way, you could open the window and the gate at the same time.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I've got another one of these wagons that has.
I love that. And plus, you had that seat in the back that faced backwards, Skep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my family had that car,
Yeah.
and I loved sitting back there.
Well,
That
I
was
told
my
you I had a
domain.
70 Pontiac Bonneville, but I didn't have the Grand Safari. So
Yeah, we had a Pontiac Grand Safari. No kidding.
Yeah, we'd always be like, dibs on the backy back.
I really,
We
I have to
called
say, I
it the
really
way
like
back.
that.
Yeah,
The way back.
yeah.
Way back, backy back.
So somebody did some, I guess, some sort of hooligan engineering. So there's a long video here. I can't show all of it, but 22 minutes and 40 seconds. My homemade jet boat is
There you go.
terrifying.
This
So this guy basically put a pair of burp jets on the back of a boat,
Oh.
and it's you know,
What
it
could
was,
possibly go wrong?
yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
I think I know who to blame. The wogs. The 2,000 of them inside this ball valve, which means there might not be enough room for the gas to flow. It could also be the
Yeah, so he's solving problems, lighting shit on fire,
it must be this T-junction or wog valve.
working through all of the stuff, but ultimately, you know, he ends up on the bay here.
And I almost considered jumping in the water.
Oh boy.
So we
It
put
got
some more
very,
rocks
very
in
hot.
and then
so he
made
said,
a heat
maybe
shield
a
and
heat
did it
shield is a
again.
good idea. And then it gets loud. This is so stupid. This is the dumbest thing ever.
Did he basically just build a flamethrower and not a jet?
And that time worked out steering a bit better, and I
Yeah.
can turn it in the direction I want by throttling them with the ball valve. But I'm not getting the boat up on plane, and I'm just pushing.
I mean,
I
overall,
hate Australians.
this is a cute idea, but you could just get like a small turbofan and run it off of kerosene for a lot less time and a lot less effort, and it would be way better.
Harry, you're missing the because it's there of the thing.
No, I'm not missing the because it's there of a thing, but I think having a turbofan powered boat, because you know those little jet engines, Skep, they've got them that kick out like around, God, I forget how many foot-pounds of pressure they put out, but I mean, it's like, it's not insubstantial.
Now they can get up and scream. There's a lot of ways to thrust water to make a boat go.
Yeah.
The fun thing about this is that what he uses, those basically controlled explosion jets.
Yeah.
I just love that. That's his mode.
Yeah, he did. It's the channel's called I Did a Thing.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. I'm with Jack on this. There is a why did you climb it? Because it's there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
Definitely there.
I know that channel. He does a lot of interesting things like that.
Well, like all the Colin Furs and Fowler's, what is it, Makery and Mischief. There's a bunch of great channels out there with really great content.
There's the guy who does like crazy automation with robots. So like you throw a basket and you never miss because the hoop is on like pulleys and has a coordination system attached to it.
And then there's Mark Roper, who did the squirrel agility course, but then also started making glitter bombs and putting them in packages for people to steal. That was fun.
So many other things. The toothpaste explosion. Oh my God, that was awesome.
Did you ever see any of Michael Reeves' stuff? He hasn't done much for recently, but he did.
Didn't he make Gladiator movies? Sorry, I don't know who Michael Reeves is.
No, he did a Roomba that curses whenever.
Oh yeah, no, we did that. We covered that. Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah. So, gentlemen, supercarrier USS Gerald R. Ford to act as floating nuclear plant for facilities on land.
Oh.
Now, I know that there have been instances where naval vessels have shown up in places that where something bad happened, like a storm, and they've served as mobile desalination platforms. But aren't there some serious logistical problems with it's not like you can just throw an extension cord to a city and magically transfer electric power from these reactors. Getting power from here to the grid is not trivial.
Well, I bet that they have inbuilt stuff. I'll bet they have an inbuilt power bus that they can do. I'm almost sure. Bet I could find it.
How would they solve the phase variance problem? Because things that are on the grid that are designed to that are trying to interoperate with each other, it's a very delicate dance to get all of the basically all those little sine waves overlapping on the grid.
Right.
What do you think, Jack?
I don't know how they would approach that.
I don't know enough about electrical engineering to give you an answer.
I know enough about it to think that it's sus. This sounds like an idea that somebody would have that hadn't thought it through completely. Like, hey, we've basically got a floating nuclear power complex with two reactors. Why can't we just run the city off of that? And
I'm kind of sorry. I will say, as far as the sus thing goes, I see occasionally on Twitter, like someone says, why don't we do this super obvious seeming thing? And it's not really that well thought out. And then I think to myself, in a lot of cases, it's kind of like a case of, if you haven't seen someone do the very obvious thing, there's probably a reason that they didn't do the very obvious thing.
You would almost have to run power out of this and have a motor generator set up with your own substation waiting on the pier to then synchronize it into the grid.
Is it going into the grid, though? Because my first instinct is, well, no, they're just going to power, emergency services, people on life support or who need equipment to just survive, like literally survive.
Sure. Yeah, if you want to basically power things, so this is just some proposal that they were throwing out.
Oh.
Pentagon is exploring ways to keep the power on a critical basis after attacks or natural disasters, and there's a history of ships acting in this role. So like I said, they definitely do this with water generation.
Yeah.
But tying it into like a grid would be rather difficult. I could just be completely wrong.
They're going to export it from the carrier to the base.
Even then, that's hard.
Yeah. So it's not the grid per se, but then you basically just build the substation that will make the power available to certain people on the grid. Then probably.
Well, and also, who
are they also setting up an emergency station on the base? Have a policy, have the military is very fastidious when it comes to these types of procedures. Have the whole thing laid out. In case of X, this is what we're going to do. We're going to plug in the Gerald R. Ford, and the substation's going to go live, and we're going to have these tents, and we're going to save lives, and maybe that's more the thinking. Rather than, as you flippantly say, we're just going to plug it into the grid. I don't think that that's even possible.
Well, if they disconnected the base from the bigger grid, right? So the base had no connection to external power, and this essentially
then you could run it.
Then you could run it, yeah. And because the whole phase variance thing wouldn't matter, but who's to say that this thing spits out 480 volts or 240 volts or some sort of working voltage anyway? It has things it runs on the ship. Maybe most of the power goes into propulsion and running the catapults. And who's to say that even the voltage or anything is like correct? I don't know what the power systems look like on an aircraft carrier.
That's because those are classified.
I would hope so. Yeah. They could be running at 42.5 hertz. I don't know.
Never know.
Could all be DC.
Very secret.
Edison
but I
wins.
would also imagine that a naval base like Norfolk would be able to go off grid and have its own power generation in cases of emergency.
I would think that they have their own backup generators, and this is pointless.
Yeah, of course. So I'm just imagining it's not that much of a stretch to say, okay, well, we're going to have a substation where, and I'm just thinking, very basic, like the super carrier then becomes the USB battery pack that plugs into the generator, so that again they could have basic logistics running, radar, and also life-saving equipment, just so as that final stopgap against complete collapse. I don't think it would be possible or feasible to just plug it into the grid. I know it's more of an idiom at this point, but
yeah,
and power, traffic lights or whatever. I don't think that that's necessary nor possible, like physically possible with the, you would be losing. It would be so inefficient and just not worth it just to, power street lamps or whatever.
Well, those are all going to be solar powered because Nithya Raman wants to.
Oh, right, because she's an idiot.
So I have something filed under It's About Time. United Airlines Flight 1948 generates standing ovation for enforcing headphones rule on passenger. They just decided to start enforcing the rule, like, hey, you can't just take your phone and play like drill rap or something and have it come through the speaker on your phone. You get to, it's not a Carnival cruise. Well, you have to use headphones with this stuff now, and United's starting enforcing it. I hope everybody does it.
Harry, I have bad news for you. United Airlines is now racist.
Is it? Oh, yeah.
Oh.
They're suppressing cultural expression of some sort.
Yeah, they're racist now.
What are they doing?
I'm not going to explain why they're racist. They just are now.
Well, because this policy disproportionately targets a certain group of people, Skep. You don't judge a policy based on the policy. You judge it based on the people that it touches. That's how you find about secret racism.
By the victim status of the potential effect.
Yeah, that's the important thing. And you're thinking, wasn't this a rule already? I mean,
it comes to mind, doesn't it?
Why are we having this conversation in the current year? Shouldn't this have just been not a thing ever?
Right. I'm with you.
I remember those shitty headphones that you'd get where essentially the sound would travel over some tube with air in it. And then you could change the signal, and they would sell you these headphones for like $5. And it was essentially like a stethoscope earphone type thing. Yeah. That was fun. We didn't have all these advanced distraction devices back then.
No. And for my very first flight from McGuire Air Force Base to Paris, France, in a 4-engine propeller, what passed for an airliner back then in 1959 was a coloring book and a Pez dispenser with no Pez in it. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Have a good flight.
What was the Pez dispenser of? Did it have like Donald Duck on it or something?
No, it looked like a red-headed clown.
Oh, terrifying.
Yep.
You must have been a very bad child.
I was
to be treated
had a lot of sinister influences.
Such a way.
I know you don't take much public transport, Harry, but they have the same rules on public transport. And you would imagine that other riders would be appreciative when the man stands up and says, "Hey, can you follow the rules like everybody else in this fucking society? You're not fucking special. Turn off your goddamn phone or put your fucking headphones in." But no, most people look at you and go, "Why are you so angry? Why can't you just mind your own business?"
Yeah.
No, I've noticed that as I've taken more and more buses to like long distance buses, that there are some bus drivers that will say, "Shut up." Shut the phone off. Nobody wants stop talking on your phone. Nobody wants to hear your conversation. Some of those things they're kind of pushing back a little bit, but it's not nearly enough, because if you think it's bad on airplanes, it's much worse on buses.
Yeah.
Well, I have no segue for this, so I'm just going to show it to you. So this is filed under Ukraine is smart, and I'm not being sarcastic.
Ukraine is now using high-altitude weather balloons as airborne aircraft carriers to drop suicide drones deep behind enemy lines. But why Russians cannot do this?
Yeah, so you basically just take advantage of the prevailing winds, and you can do this from Ukraine to Russia because the prevailing winds, if you put something on a balloon, just let the balloon take it like into Russia and then drop it and then just blow shit up that's well out of the normal range. But the Russians can't do this because the prevailing winds go in exactly the wrong direction for them. I think this is a great way to do a lot with very little. This is genius.
Oh yeah, this is low-hanging fruit of first water.
I mean,
high-hanging.
They didn't strap incendiary devices to bats and drop them out of an apparatus, but I mean, it's still pretty good. Yeah.
Killer dolphins.
Yeah. No, this is
sharks with lasers on their heads.
All of this drone stuff is kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
We're just going to have robots hunting people. Yeah.
Have you seen the fields of micro filament from all the drones that are on microfilaments so that they can't be jammed? They're actually, and these microfilaments are thousands and thousands of meters long. You know, these things can stand off, 5 or 6 kilometers and kill somebody with, and it stretches that long filament over. And so the birds are starting to pick up the monofilament and they're seeing nests made almost entirely of the stuff.
Nice and shiny.
That's hilarious.
So I have something which I think this qualifies as a good thing. Or at least it's a nice thing. Let's see.
Oh.
Well, it is a flying kangaroo that has lived quite the life. An ex-Qantas Boeing 707 has found its way home after flying around the rich and famous. Its owner is John Travolta. He donated the jet to the Aviation Museum at Shell Harbour, and it took quite an unusual route to get there.
Flying down the streets of the south coast,
that is a good
piece
question.
Of Australian aviation history on its final approach to its final
Australia.
destination.
That explains everything.
Well, being upside down, it makes it hard to do it.
Definitely a unique one.
I'm not going to recognize them as human beings until they can say the word no.
Nar.
Nar. Nar isn't a word.
Now, the cynical part of me thinks this is a great way for John Travolta to cut down his tax liability. This is a great, because he's got an old airplane that he doesn't want to keep anymore.
You are reading my mind.
Let's just give it to a museum. But on the other hand, it is an actual old Qantas. It's sort of in the original livery.
Pretty cool.
It belongs in a museum, not a scrapyard. And if it's being sent back to Australia, why the hell not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the 707 is a really sweet aircraft.
Oh man, 707. That was what we flew back on three years later. Was, or actually almost 4 years later, was on a Boeing 707, and it had no propellers. It had 4 engines, but no propellers. It was amazing. And compared to the Constellation Super G we had been in several years before, this was like getting into 2001: A Space Odyssey. It was just like that kind of a moment when we stepped aboard. They had these little things in the ceiling. You could turn them and it would blow air on your face. I just thought that was it.
That's cool.
And a little light I could turn on and off and on and off until my sister hit me.
The first airplane I was ever in was a Cessna. My dad knew that I was obsessed with aircraft, so he actually, for my birthday, chartered a Cessna, and we just sort of flew around the area, and that was great. That's fantastic.
Cool.
And then the second airplane I was ever on was some 4-engine turboprop thing to go down to Southern California to go to Disneyland. And then the third airplane I had ever flown on was a 747 going to Hawaii, and that's an upgrade.
That's an upgrade.
That's an upgrade.
A big step up, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh,
747s. I always feel like I'm in a building.
Well, I mean, other than the odd fuel pump problem that caused them to drop out of the sky and a few other things, that's a pretty solid aircraft.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you look at the number of millions and millions and millions of people miles or billions that were flown where people didn't die in disasters in 747s, that's a pretty safe airplane.
If you want to crash in an aircraft, the safest aircraft to crash in terms of survivability is 747, and there's almost not a second place.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. They yield a highest percentage of living passengers.
Oh, I have one that's really kind of terrible. I'll go ahead and drag it out here. Let's see. It's like I'm with the government and I'm here to help. Where are we?
Oh, God. More government.
Let's see. Things in motion. It's about time. Vintage ad. Well, we haven't done that. I'll save this Chuck Yeager thing for later. Okay. Here we go. Iowa man received survivor's benefits as a teen after dad's death. The government wants it back decades later.
The fuck?
Well, sure.
So
Why not?
his father died, and there's a thing where kids, if you're under 18, you basically receive a small amount of money from the government until you turn 18.
Yes, you do.
And
All about
he did this like many years ago. And now the government has decided that he may have made too much money when he was a kid working at the same time as he was receiving these benefits. So they want him to give the money back. And so with interest and all the other stuff added on top of it, it's like $8,000 that they want back. So this is the thing about the government. Anytime they supposedly give you money or give you back your own money, there's no limit on the amount of time they can claw back that money if they decide later that it was a mistake to have sent it to you. It's pretty brutal.
And there's no limit to how petty they can be about it.
Well, I told you that like I was having some problems with the state government because of a business thing from like the last millennium, and they quite proudly tell you, oh no, there's no limit on how far back we can go. We can go back as far as we want.
89.
Yep.
1889.
Yep. No, it's pretty crazy. But I mean, I understand where this is coming from, but I do feel like there should be some sort of statute of limitations on this stuff, Skep. I mean, just as a reasonable thing, like 10 years, 20 years, just something. It shouldn't really be forever.
Well, it's especially on things like this kind of a clawback, which is basically an auditor went back through and said, oh my God, this guy got, he was reporting this much stuff. And it's actually a screw up on the government's part because they're supposed, when this guy's reporting his income, they're supposed to look at that and say, well, you're not eligible for this stuff and not pay it. That's the way the system's supposed to work.
Mm-hmm.
What actually happens is he reports it. It's in a completely different system. The prescribed audit procedure never happens because too many people are too overworked or they don't do their job or they don't care or whatever happens. It's just the way the government works. And you have two completely unlinked situations. So then, years pass, then this thing is caught on audit and the government only knows, well, claw it back, no matter what. There's no chain of accountability, no attempt to understand the context of how this happened and who really contributed to this, which the state clearly has a role in, has some complicity in this fuck up.
Well, hold on now. If the government was to get rid of this policy, then the government would stand to make less money, you see.
Wow. Yeah, it's not advantageous for them to not have the ability to go back as far as they want. But imagine, okay, there's something like this that happens in your 20s. Somebody's 90 years old, they have mild amounts of dementia or whatever, they're in a care facility, some assisted living thing, and then suddenly there's mail showing up from the government saying, oh yeah, you did a bad thing and you owe us a bunch of money. You're not in a position to defend yourself from that. You don't have access to those records. You may not even have the mental faculty to deal with something like that. There's got to be some kind of practical limit to this shit.
There's a practical solution. That is, you have an office of kind of an ombudsman that people can go to and say, look, here's what's going on. What the fuck? And they can go work it up, and it'll be like a tiger team type of thing where they can be very aggressive, very, very quick turnaround, looking at things, saying, yeah, this is obvious screw up, or we're exerting a whole bunch of effort to get back a couple of $1,000 from somebody who's, struggling. That's not what we're about. You need somebody who can make those judgments and has the authority to basically cancel a lot of that.
Well, ombudsman or like a tribune, back in the old Greek days.
Yeah, tribune.
Basically we need a tribune. And the one thing that he's got is he has the ability to go into any government office that he wants. He has unlimited ability to go up and basically confront people in the government. And he's got a big rubber stamp that says really interrobang, right. And he can just take a piece of paper and go, just put the really stamp on it. Like really justify this stupid thing that you're doing.
A non-lethal version of Judge Dredd.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Okay. Well, we already talked about the trademark infringing drag queen. Let's see. We already did that. Okay. Do you want to see a thing with a cat functional? I know you like cats.
Yeah, sometimes this one won't shut up. I don't know if you guys can hear him.
No, I'm not hearing anything.
The entire show.
Okay, here's a cat, the only cat thing for this week.
Oh, God.
My cats love knocking my stuff off tables. Today we're going to be rage baiting my cats with this. My cats love knocking my stuff off tables, and this cube looks very knockable, but it's made of tungsten, so it's super heavy. So they'll probably try to knock it off, but I don't think they'll be able to. All right, let's get them in the mood first.
The cat knocks it off and it goes through down to the next apartment.
Why do cats like to do this?
Because they're assholes, Harry.
They are assholes.
Help me! Help me!
You need a tungsten cube, you really do.
Aw, he's trying to make friends with the cube.
But I like this. I like the idea of torturing cats by basically putting something at the edge of a table that they can't possibly knock off.
Yeah, I need to invest in something like this. I thought he was just going to like super glue it to the table, but this is an even better idea.
How much did that tungsten cube weigh?
I don't know. I mean, what is it? It's like twice as heavy as lead or something. I mean, yeah. It's some ridiculous number.
It's really. I've held lumps of tungsten in my hand, and it's astonishing. It doesn't feel real. It's so heavy for the size.
It looks like it's what, a 1-inch cube?
Yeah. That's also not cheap, by the way. Tungsten is not the cheapest metal.
No.
I mean, it's not $5,000 an ounce like gold, but it's pretty expensive. It's like about a third that. I mean, not that I have spot prices for precious metals.
19 1/4 grams per cubic centimeter.
That's a lot.
Grams.
So 19.25 grams per cubic centimeter for tungsten. How many centimeters in an inch? Like 2 and a bit?
I think a centimeter is 0.45 inches. So
we're looking at about 0.66 of a pound. 2/3 of a pound.
Yeah. It's not like putting a Bic lighter on the edge of a table and watching the cat be an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, to a cat, that's, a house cat, that's weight. That's some serious weight. To us, I mean, like you saw this guy, he's handling it like it's nothing.
Yeah.
But you would, if you put it in your hand, you would definitely feel, oh yeah, that's heavy. Why is this something so small, so heavy?
So this next thing, I'm not sure this actually will work, because basically it's not the video that I like, it's the comments on the video. So let's see if the YouTube gods will be agreeable. Okay, so a corrugated wiggle nail can stop wood cracks from spreading by mechanically locking the split fibers together. Okay,
Yeah,
that's cool.
I've done this before.
I've actually seen those, but I didn't know what they were for.
Yeah, just to
I'm
prevent the wood from
just
splitting
innocent. So that's pretty good.
Shut up.
So, give me the thing. Okay, so some guy basically said, as an experienced carpenter, I can assure you nothing would have kept the guy's parents from splitting. Okay, as a corrugated nail, I can confirm that I would not have stopped the guy's parents from splitting, not because I can't, but because I chose not to. Maybe a corrugated wiggle nail could have kept my parents from splitting. I'm so glad my parents did not have a corrugated wiggle nail.
It's stuff like this that like reaffirms that, you know, I'm a little too hard on humanity sometimes.
Yeah.
There are some good people out there.
I feel for that guy that could have used a corrugated wiggle nail to stop his parents from splitting. This actually also works on relationships, believe it or not. My parents were going to split, but one of those wiggle nails stopped it. This is the kind of thing that sort of restores my faith in humanity. I really,
that is kind of nice.
The comment section on this particular video are so much better than the video. I like it. I'm easily impressed. Let's see. There was something else.
By the
Did you
way,
have that moose?
If you want to know what a 1-inch cube of tungsten weighs exactly, it weighs 0.697 pounds. So
ooh, I was
about
close.
A little less than 3/4 of a pound.
That's enough to slow a cat down.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was close. I said 0.66. Damn, I'm good.
Yeah. You can math good.
Did you see the moose thing? No?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did see the moose thing. My favorite thing with a moose was a adolescent moose that ran toward a lawn sprinkler and wiped out. They really aren't the most stable animals.
Yeah. I posited it on one of those red pill shows that man versus bear, that's so passe now. Man versus moose, then you're gonna have the bitches begging for the men. Moose do not fuck around. They are tanks with far too skinny of a leg.
They do. They're very wobbly. I saw a little sculpture once. Somebody did a sculpture of a moose wearing roller skates. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, I've seen them on ice, and that's bad enough.
It is bad news. So Jack.
Yeah.
So you know about this whole sanctuary city thing, right? Because those are the good ones, and how the local people are just in this pissing contest with the feds over everything. Well,
oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
You're describing like everything. They're in the pissing contest with the feds over everything, let alone sanctuary cities.
Well, at San Francisco International Airport, they're trying to deny Department of Homeland Security people from having access to the airport because, why would immigration people want to go to, I don't know, an international airport? That would be wrong because we don't want them going after illegals or deporting people or capturing them or whatever, right? Yeah. So it's gotten really petty. So now it says Department of Homeland Security says it's drawing up plans to ban international arrivals at SFO. I feel like the stakes have just been raised dramatically.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, they can theoretically do that, can't they?
I think they can. They could stop international travel going in because they basically say if DHS doesn't have access to this international airport with customs enforcement, all the things that come with it, maybe you don't get international travelers.
Yeah.
And that's basically DHS's is bread and butter is the international.
I think this is well within their purview.
Yeah,
it's like their number one mandate. Yeah,
that is very interesting.
See what the next chess move is.
Yeah.
I mean, because an international airport, isn't that also technically international soil if you're in that particular area?
No.
It's not a consulate, but I think you're talking about the thing before they pass through customs. They're technically not on U.S. property. Is that the thing you're referring to?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the deal, Skep?
No, you are on U.S. property as soon as that plane
It's the
actually
airspace.
crosses the border. Yes, exactly. And so you are on U.S. territory in U.S. airspace, even sitting on the plane as you're flying. Once you've crossed the border, you are in the United States.
Subject to the laws thereof.
Yeah. Well, there was some movie with Tom Hanks, and that's where I get all of my legal information.
Well, sure,
Harry,
some
would you
movies.
believe that that's where I thought of too?
Well,
It's
in
called
that
The
case,
Terminal. It's one of my favorite movies.
Tom Hanks is pretty entertaining. And who was it? Stanley Tucci? Who was the guy who was the Fed?
Yes.
I mean, essentially, he's the villain, right? And you always cast the best actor to be the villain. Anybody can be the protagonist.
Tucci's masterclass.
Yeah, he's really good.
He is one of my favorite character actors of all time. He's amazing.
Yeah, Alan Rickman made a career out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I believe you're thinking of so in order to pass through the sort of checkpoint at these airports, you need to have valid ID, and that guy did not have a passport, and because of the time of you didn't have instant connection to the internet 24/7, no matter where you are in the world, he couldn't just get to the consulate, couldn't get appropriate paperwork. So he basically was in sort of a gray area, but he couldn't step out of that area. It's still American soil. You're still subject to laws and standards thereof, but you couldn't pass through the checkpoint kind of thing, which is kind of unique to our little section of the world, because in other countries, you generally would have those sort of zones, Jack. So like, to pass over the physical border from like, I don't know, Germany into Poland, there would be, hey, this little checkpoint that's considered, Polish territory, even though some of it might be a little overlapping onto German territory, so you would have things like that. But what the hell? Oh,
it's cats wearing Elizabethan collars.
Well, those are surgery collars, but I've had that. You spin me around. Yeah, I always feel bad for when they really hate the collar. But the thing is, that's what you have to be more concerned of, because the idiots don't understand physics, so they'll trap themselves with something in the cone and freak the fuck out because they're like, I can't, I can't even right now. Now that she's super quiet, I'm getting suspicious. What is going on?
Okay, so Jack, have you ever had SOS? Shit on a shingle?
Technically, no. No, technically, no. There you are.
But you know what it is.
Is that the one with the peas or the one with the meat?
Oh God, no, peas. No. Okay, so you haven't had it. Okay. So there's this recipe, and this is from Pepper Belly Pete, who I like. I actually like most of his content, but I think this recipe is just wrong. So, Skep, you can join in on this one.
Recipe back from the army over 60 years ago. The first time my mother made it for him, she didn't like it, so the next time she added a few extra ingredients and made it way better. I've got 2 pounds of ground beef in here. Now that I got it browned, I'm going to drain all this grease off of it. I've got it drained now. I'm adding one small.
You don't need to drain shit.
No, the onions are going to sop all that up. That's why when I make ground beef tacos, I never drain it.
Well, not to mention there's going to be
depends
flour.
on the grade.
There's going to be flour added, which makes a roux. Yeah.
All
if it's a really fatty
1
ground beef,
tablespoon of black
I'll drain a
pepper,
little
garlic
bit,
powder, and my flavor thyme seasoning. I let mine cook till the onions are softened up.
Okay, now here's the first abomination: cream of mushroom soup.
Nope.
That has nothing to do with SOS. It's just that's not.
I
the
understand
recipe.
why he's using it, but just don't.
I mean, do you agree, Skep?
Yeah, that does not go in. That is never used by Navy cooks.
Yeah.
That right there, that is not done.
It says in the title, it says Army recipe.
It's not done by Army either.
It does not happen in Navy kitchen.
Well, I mean, I grew up eating this stuff because my grandfather loved it. Okay, so I used to eat it all the time as a kid. I had it at the Navy postgraduate school. Skep's had it at the Navy postgraduate school. He's had it serving on ships. I have a book.
I've served it. As the food service officer, among my many hats on the Kansas City, we served it. We offered it as usually as a breakfast item.
Yeah. So okay, so let's enjoy the badness. Okay, so cream of mushroom soup. This is already like fail.
I'm adding 1 can of cream of mushroom. I like to stir it in real good, then add 1/3 of a cup of all-purpose flour.
Pause just for a sec.
Yeah, that's supposed to be there. The flour.
Yes, but already what I would have done is I would have taken the flour and some of the fat from the beef. I would have made a roux. And then I would have added heavy cream to the roux and then re-added the beef back into it. We're building. See, this guy's just this recipe. I don't want to say this guy. I don't know him. But the recipe so far is just dumping things in the pan. And yeah, in a pinch, sure, whatever. But if you want to elevate your cooking, you need to layer the flavors. And the thing I just told y'all to do, chat, is you're layering those flavors. It'll turn this monstrosity into something actually half palatable.
Well, you can put the flour over this. It'll combine with the fat that's there, and it'll all work itself out. But
you're going to get clumps, and Harry,
that's
you're not
okay.
going to have those layers. That's what I'm saying. This is perfectly. It's kind of a monstrosity.
You don't have to make a
I'm
bechamel.
saying to elevate. It doesn't even have to be.
But if you're feeding 1,000, people,
onions have layers.
Yeah,
but Harry, that's what I was doing. I was a banquet chef, a catering chef. I did cook large batch,
onions,
most
beef,
of the time,
flour, milk, lots of black pepper, and I think we agree. Skep, Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire
definitely.
Sauce.
Yeah, it doesn't need a lot of tarting up. It's basically just browned beef with like a cream gravy with a pepper cream gravy on it.
Yeah, you got to remember that we're making this on a ship that is moving from side to side, sloshing, but you still have to make it in big pots.
There he goes with it.
It's a bigger challenge than you think it is.
I mean, I'd still eat it, but I would complain the whole time about the fact that there's cream of mushroom soup in there, which is just like
we would never have put anything like that. We use fresh ingredients for everything we cook. It's easier to use fresh ingredients when you have them.
Yeah.
You're not even going to toast it up?
It's actually better with toast, but you can just put it on white bread too.
No, we always toasted.
Yeah.
We didn't even serve it with. We'd have an open thing of bread. You could get extra bread, and guys would, but we would serve it always on.
I'm just telling you, Pete is confused here. This is not how you make SOS. Don't believe this misinformation.
And again, if you want to elevate, like again, I've cooked this type of stuff on like in big batches. It's not that hard to take those couple extra steps to make the roux first and then go from there. And obviously you're starting with browning the beef, but like its purpose isn't to wow people. Its purpose is to fill bellies. And that's exactly what SOS does. The toast, it keeps it interesting. My way of sort of kicking it up just half a notch. It's not about turning it into an elevated dish worthy of, Hell's Kitchen or something. It's about just giving the person's mouth a little bit of a what's the word? Like a nod, as well as filling the belly. Yes, it's still going to not be the greatest thing you're going to taste, but it's not going to be slop on a piece of soggy white bread. That's why you need the toast. You need the texture. Yes,
Functional. Could I break in just for a moment because I'd like to share with you.
I was done.
From the Armed Forces recipe card, I'm going to read you the couple of sentences that tell us how this is made. Creamed beef on toast, famously known in the Armed Forces as SOS, is a classic hearty military comfort food. It's a simple, budget-friendly dish made by making a roux of butter and flour, whisking in milk to create a creamy gravy, and simmering with chipped beef before serving over toast. Here's what you need. For this classic recipe, you need 4 ounces of dried chipped beef, 3 tablespoons of butter, 3 tablespoons all-purpose flour, 2.5 cups of milk, half a teaspoon of black pepper, quarter teaspoon of garlic powder, 6 to 8 slices of bread, toasted. Prep the beef. Roughly chop the sliced dried beef. If it's overly salty, rinse it in warm water for 5 minutes. I used to have to make them do this. I have done this exact recipe. Build the roux. Melt the butter in a large skillet over medium heat. Whisk in the flour and cook for about 1 minute until it forms a smooth, bubbly paste and loses its raw flour taste. 3. Make the gravy. Slowly whisk the milk into the roux a little at a time to prevent lumps. Let the mixture simmer on medium heat, stirring frequently until the gravy thickens to a silky texture. Add the beef. Stir the chopped beef and seasoning, pepper and garlic powder into the gravy. Let it simmer for 2 to 3 minutes until the beef is warmed through and the desired thickness is reached. And then you serve it. You spoon the hot cream beef generously over your crispy toasted bread.
Yeah.
That is straight from the Armed Forces recipe card.
I'm going to stand and I'm going to take a little bow. There we go.
There you go.
It's almost like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to food.
So if Geodes was here, he would like this thing. So this last little thing here, some guy got drunk and then came home to his wife who started screaming about wanting a divorce. So he went out to get his Kubota landscape or tractor thing. It's an excavator. And he started just tearing into the house because he could. This is like almost like Killdozer type stuff.
I respect the hustle, but like, was she in it?
I don't know. That seems like an implementation detail. I mean, it's incumbent on her to probably not be in it when that starts up. Just start swinging at it with a Kubota. Yeah.
And one man who says he knows Pirza personally and has hunted with him before described him as a big outdoorsman.
I think he could have destroyed more house if he hadn't been quite so drunk. He probably sort of fell asleep at the wheel. Fell asleep.
Clarice.
Yeah. Clarice, is that what you said her name was?
I don't know. It was the first thing that came to mind.
No, that's a good name for her, I think. So we actually managed to do 2 hours, and I didn't have to show you the incredibly super cringy thing I found from German TV this time. And I'm sure everybody appreciates that.
What super cringy thing did you find from Germany?
Oh, you want to see it? Of course you do.
Yeah,
okay.
You can't edge us like that and then not.
Yeah. Let me see it. Where is it? It's under.
And it's funny too, Skep, because the amount of times in real life that it happens to me in the grocery store where I'll see, like just the other day, some older woman, she was like looking at the different cuts of beef, and I'm like, are you barbecuing or no, I'm putting it in a skillet. And I'm like, okay, well, we're going to take this. And how much of a beef eater is he? Because she was her husband didn't seem like know what he was doing. Long story short, I'm like, trust me, it's worth the wait. Do you have at least an hour? Okay, salt that shit, put it on a rack, stick it in the oven, no heat, just let it, blah, 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 blah. And she kind of gives me at one point, gives me a little bit of a skeptical eye. And I said, oh, don't worry, I'm a chef.
Yeah.
With that tone, with that confidence. And she it was like her shields just dropped right there. She's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to show you now the pure cringe. You remember the song Maniac from the movie Flashdance?
Maniac. Yeah.
So
show.
Yeah. So this is the Germans trying to do their little version of it on a variety show. It's amazing. And I want you to also watch the dude that this performer has dancing with her. You get some serious Night at the Roxbury energy from this guy. It's amazing.
Oh, a classic.
Yeah.
What, 80s?
80s.
On the wire between will and what will be. She's a maniac.
Check this guy out.
And she's dancing like she's never danced before.
This is the gayest thing I've ever seen.
You say that, but this looks like modern day TikTok.
It does, doesn't it? That guy is dancing for all he's worth. And she's terrible. I mean, that is like so off key and awful. All of these German variety shows are just a gold mine of cringe.
Yeah. She's the producer's little friend.
So is he, Skep.
I don't want to play more of that because A, because I like you people, and B, because I don't want to get copy struck over something that's dumb. But yeah, he is amazing. That little dancer boy she had there.
Oh, there's more of them.
Oh yeah, she's got like a whole cadre of not entertaining people.
Wow.
Yeah, this is very exciting. Yeah. That's some great choreography. I found that and I thought, oh yeah, this has to be in the show.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is
just
pursuit.
The Germans, yeah. Whatever you do, don't mention the war. I think I mentioned it once, but I got away with it. Man, Faulty Towers is such a good show. I need to go back and rewatch that again.
Yeah.
As Cartman said, what the fuck is wrong with Germans?
Yeah, what is wrong with Germans? Well, anyway.
Well, we mistakenly dropped the nuke. Well, not mistakenly, but we only nuked the Japanese and not the Germans.
I find it interesting that the zoom capture, for some reason, doesn't seem to capture Skep.
Yeah.
It does that because OBS is worth every penny I paid for it. Well, anyway, thanks for showing up, you guys.
Thanks for joining us, Jack.
Central.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Hopefully Zoom wasn't too much of a pain in the ass to use.
Apparently there's a web browser version, which means that at the very least, the Chinese spyware isn't installed on my computer.
All right.
They just know where you live.
Yeah, they just know everything now.
They know everything now. So anyway, this has been your Minions the Zoo for a Saturday. Thank you, panel. Thank you, chat. The zoo's closed.